Good morning. My name is Patrick Gagné. I'm CEO of Cycle Momentum.
Thank you very much, Patrick, and it's a pleasure to speak with you today. So why don't you give us a sort of 1 or 2 minute introduction to Cycle Momentum or Cycle Momentum and what it strives to achieve?
So Cycle Momentum is a startup accelerator and an innovation enabler for large corporations. So we have the ambition of growing the Cleantech startup space in Quebec over the next 3 years, and growing to 50 companies accelerated per year. So that's our goal. And we cover all areas of clean tech, from clean energy to waste transformation to urban tech to ag tech. So that's in a nutshell.
Of course, clean tech, I think it's fair to say, has become a little bit of a buzzword in economic circles, but it does mean something, and perhaps it means different things to different people. So why don't you help us define what clean tech means in the Quebec context?
Clean tech is any technology that has a positive impact on GHG reductions, right? That's fair and simple. That's how we define it, and it has to have a positive impact on greenhouse gas emissions, but also on air quality as well, and on water quality. So we're adding the water component as well to our focus.
Is this a thriving ecosystem in Montreal and Quebec? And what differentiates the region's clean tech ecosystem from, for example, Ontario, British Columbia, the US, Europe, or other parts of the world?
In Quebec, it's I would say it's a emerging sector, but it's going to have strong support from government, from investors, from the tech sector, and the startup space is really booming at this point in this sector. We're looking at a focus on certain key areas like batteries, hydrogen, water tech. We're looking at ag tech as well. We launched recently a program, and an open innovation program with Hydro-Quebec and greenhouse producers of Quebec. So that's another sector we're focusing on as well. One sector that we don't talk a lot about is water tech. And I think if there's an area on this planet where we should be developing IP around water tech is Quebec, the province of Quebec. Given its natural resources, the number of lakes that we have, the presence of the St. Lawrence River, which is used to be an economic powerhouse, which is a center of, which is a geographic landmark here in Quebec. So I'm quite bullish long term on water tech. Actually, Cycle Capital, which we're part of, launched the first water tech fund, dedicated tech fund in Bleu Impact, which was launched in fall 2020. So I think we're putting our money where our mouth is, for sure, and I think that's one trend that's going to be emerging.
So we've seen a lot of foreign investment in Montreal in recent years. I'm curious if you could speak specifically to clean tech, and also perhaps tell us a little bit about Montreal's competitive advantages when it comes to attracting foreign investment in clean tech.
We strongly believe that attracting investors is a key component to growing our startup ecosystem. So we launched in March the Circle of Partner Funds of Cycle Momentum, and the goal here is to attract and bring together investors from different geographic areas. We started with local investors that have a clean tech practice, but recently we announced new members in that Circle of Partner Funds. To name a few, we added the Cleantech, Clean Energy Ventures from Boston. We added Risk Capital from Toronto and Green Dev as well from Toronto. And the goal is to build that list to potentially 50 investors, key investors that have a clean tech focus over the next 3 years. So we want to have a community of investors that are interested, invested in, and looking into deals locally in the Quebec clean tech space.
You mentioned the Quebec government earlier, and I think I remember that it actually invested in cycle capital and in other investment vehicles in the province. Tell us a bit about the supports that are available for clean tech entrepreneurs and innovators in the province.
There are many programs. The green economy is actually booming right now, and governments are pouring money into different programs. Federal announced several programs. The federal government announced several programs recently. They're yet to be detailed or fleshed out in details. But at the on the Quebec level, provincial level, there are many programs stemming from sectorial branches of government. So the Ministry of Energy has programs supporting the clean tech space through their Fonds Vert. There is the MAPAC, which is the Ministry of Agriculture, that has several programs supporting entrepreneurs and ag tech entrepreneurs as well. The Ministry of Economy has programs specifically for startups in clean tech. So there's a plethora of programs now that come in, I'd say, for entrepreneurs that are very interesting and come in at the right time for to support entrepreneurs when they decide to grow their business or even to start their business. So at different stages. The municipal level also has programs. Recently launched a call for projects to support entrepreneurship in clean tech, in circular economy. So I'd say there's never been a better time than today to be an entrepreneur in clean tech in terms of government support. There's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of focus on that space, whether it's in the space of batteries, ag tech, and Industry 4.0 as well is a strong focus to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and having a cleaner industry.
Yeah, no, that's very clear. So Montreal, of course, is also very known for its universities and for its thriving, and creative, talent pool. We are, of course, in a pandemic. We're actually sort of maybe exiting a pandemic, and we're even seeing, a lot of competition for talent right now. What is the availability of talent in the clean tech space in and around Montreal?
We have to keep in mind that Montreal is perfectly positioned to be competitive at an international level. We have 5 university centers based out of Montreal with thriving engineering schools and computer science programs as well. So on that front, and in terms of research as well, our challenge right now is to make sure that we're converting from lab to industry to commerce more than we have in the past. I think that's where the challenge lies, is going to market with these burgeoning, budding technologies. And that's something that we're going to want to contribute to as well over the next few years. There are programs that are set up right now to help convert these university projects into businesses. So yeah, we have Polytechnique is working on that. Santec at ETS also is working on that. I know that McGill has through Dobson that has also a program for entrepreneurship. So just to name a few, but there are more to help convert from lab to market.
Are there any recent developments in and around Montreal's clean tech ecosystem that really encourage you over the last maybe months and few years? Anything that you believe, okay, this is really going to make Montreal that much more attractive to foreign investors in the future?
I'm in a lot of talks with large enterprise right now, and there's a lot of enthusiasm for open innovation, for collaborating with the startup ecosystem. I think that's a healthy sign of times that we're entering into, and I think that we're going to be looking into a much brighter future in terms of clean tech. Not just because of that, but I think it's a sign. It's a very, for me, it's a green light flashing on my dashboard for sure. Also, we're seeing more and more entrepreneurs wanting to convert from tech, like digital tech, to clean tech. And that's another trend I'm seeing. I come from digital tech myself, 20 years in digital technology. Although I co-founded a company in the clean tech space in 2015, Teo Taxi. But most of these entrepreneurs that are in tech or digital tech don't think necessarily about crossing over to clean tech, but I'm seeing that more and more right now, and that's encouraging, because you've got what you've got then is entrepreneurs that have experience in developing rapid roadmaps, agile roadmaps, and bringing that mindset and also operational experience into clean tech, and resolving one of the issues that I find in the clean tech space is the long roadmaps, right? At Cycle Momentum, we have the ambition of multiplying by 5 the number of companies accelerated in our programs. Typically we were running 2 programs per year, actually 1 program with 2 cohorts per year, 10 companies from 2014 to 2020. This year we doubled, so we're at 20 companies accelerated. We want to triple next year and bring that to 50, and that demands for a large pipeline of entrepreneurs. So that's really what we want to contribute in changing for Montreal, and changing that perception that there is no deal flow, or there aren't enough entrepreneurs. On the contrary, I think we're seeing an emerging space. There's a ton of enthusiasm behind this sector, from investors to government to corporates as well. So I'm seeing a bright future ahead of us, definitely.